Good evening. I'd like to welcome everybody to the 2019 Reidsville Municipal Election Forum. I am very pleased to be here this evening. My name is Diane Sawyer. I am the president of the Reidsville Chamber of Commerce and Visitor Center. I thoroughly enjoy having these events because it is important to the chamber for everybody to make informed decisions, and we are very neutral in what we do, but we want for people to be able to hear from all of our candidates and to make a good informed decision when they vote. So tonight, the format I will explain the format, and then I'm going to turn it over to our moderator and our timekeeper who I want to introduce. But first, before we do all that, I just would like to say that our thoughts and prayers are with U.S. Senator Kay Hagan's family, and I'm very saddened to hear about her passing. No matter what side you're on, I think that the work that our elected officials do is important. We'd just like to have a moment of silence for her. Thank you for that. All right, so tonight we have with us, I always like for the Reidsville City events to have folks who do not have a vote. So I've brought some of my friends over from the city of Eden. We have Jean Ann Wood, who is our moderator, and also Debbie Ellis, who I guess this is her last time doing this for us, so she's coming on board as a staff later on this year. So she is our timekeeper. The format is going to be as follows. We will have opening statements, which will last for, everything will be 2 minutes. So candidates, you will have 2 minutes for everything, but we'll have opening statements. We'll respond to questions from the chamber. It's a total of 4. I'm going to let Jean Ann judge. If we get through them really quickly, then we may not do the intermission, but we have time if we need to. And then we'll have audience questions, which are due by 6:20. So if you have not turned those in, those are located at the front, and you are welcome to grab those, and we will go through that. And then we will do questions from the audience, and then we will do a closing statement from each of the candidates. There is a timekeeper, so Debbie, raise your hand at your candidates. She will give you the green light, and then at 1 minute, she will give you a yellow, 1 minute remaining, and then she will give you a hard stop with the red. She is going to give that to you right at 10 seconds so that you know that it's a hard stop coming. All right. Does the audience have any questions before we get started? Just for me about the format. Very clear that 6:20, fill it in. Bathrooms are located back here through the black curtain. This is being streamed live. Please remember that. It is on Facebook, the Reidsville Chamber, and also the Event Center has a live stream that they run on their website as well. I'd like to say a big thank you to the Reidsville Event Center for hosting us. They are always so gracious to us, and we really appreciate Bob and Myra and all the work that they do. All right, without further ado, Miss Jean Ann, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Okay, you guys ready? Thank you for being here tonight. I've promised Mr. Fesperman I'm going to be nice to him, so I have to be nice to everyone, okay? So we'll just start with Mr. Gorham, and just everyone, this is your 2-minute introduction, and we'll just go right down the line if that's okay with everyone. So Mr. Gorham, you want to start?
I'll do it.
Thanks.
My name is Donald Gorham. I'm a retired educator here in the city of Reidsville. I'm a lifelong resident here. Upon graduating high school, I could not wait to get back to my hometown. Upon graduating from my job, I couldn't wait to continue to do something to help Reidsville. And I chose to run for city council back in 2005. I've been a member of city council since 2005, with the exception of a 2-year respite because I ran against Mayor Festerman for the mayor's seat. But what I'd like to do is continue to work with the citizens of Reidsville to make this one of the best little towns in the state of North Carolina. I want to enhance what we've already done as far as industry. I want to enhance what we've already done in reference to our police and our safety programs. And I want to bring in some jobs that will please those who are just graduating high school and give them the same incentive to come back to Reidsville as I had when I graduated high school and left for college.
Thank you, Mr. Gorham. Ms. Blackburn?
Thank you, Jean Ann, and thank you all so much for being here. I think it really shows your care for the community to be here and, just learn what you can about the future leaders. And thank you to the Chamber for putting on this event and to the Reidsville Event Center for having it, and to those streaming. I'm really grateful that you're here and supporting this event. I'm Shannon Blackburn. I moved to Reidsville when I was 12 years old. From Atlanta, of all places, and had a very big culture shock, and vowed that I would move away as soon as I could. And here I am. It wooed me back, and I fell in love as an adult, and I just want to contribute as much as I can to this community. I am the head chef at the Celtic Fringe and partner in that business, and so I bring the perspective of a downtown business person to the council if elected, and I think that that's a fresh perspective that could really be beneficial to our community. My primary goals as a council person would be to attract and keep a young population here in Reidsville. I think in order to do that, we need to create a community that's full of places, full of things to do, so places to eat and drink, play, create, and learn. And I think being able to offer that to youth is what's going to attract and keep them here. I also want to further develop the economy by promoting small business and entrepreneurship and attracting large employers. And I want to care for our community by keeping our city safe, keeping our water clean, investing in educational programs and parks and recreation. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Blackburn. Mr. Festerman?
Thank you. Well, first of all, Madam Timekeeper, if you'll give me 15 seconds of Mrs. Walker's statement. She's not able to be here tonight. She asked me to make just a brief comment for her. Ms. Walker sends her regards. She is one of the council members representing District B. She had a commitment that was put in place several months ago, and just wasn't allowed her to do it. And she changed her plans. It would interrupt several people's schedules. She chose not to be here, but she sends her regards. Again, now I'll take my time. I'm James Fessman, and I want to continue to represent you as one of your council members from District B. I want to thank the Chamber for hosting this forum and the citizens of Reidsville for having confidence in me to represent you through the past years. Having the opportunity to work for you has been one of the great joys of my life. I've enjoyed working for this great city. Please allow me to refresh your memory. I had the good fortune to be born to Christian parents and grew up on Walter Street, a great neighborhood with friends I still have today. With hard-working parents, strong support system in place, I wished all the children of our city could be as fortunate as I was. I was educated in the regional school system, and shortly after graduation went to work in the textile mills where I met my wife. We had 2 beautiful children and 4 special grandchildren most of the time. Shortly after we married, I found my second love, law enforcement. I have chosen to spend my life in public service to this community. First as your police officer, and then being honored to serve you as a councilman for 3 terms and as your mayor for 2 terms. My life's work has afforded me the opportunity to serve you for 56 years. I still have the same enthusiasm for public service today that I had when I first started. I feel I have much to offer, and I'm ready to continue service with your help to make Reidsville a great place to live, work, and play. In the last 4 years, working with the mayor and the council members and city staff, we have accomplished many goals. I would like to identify those few goals, but I see my time has run out. I will address that at a later point. Thank you again.
Thank you, Mr. Festerman. Mr. Hairston?
Good evening. My name is William Harrison. First of all, I'd like to say that I owe so much to the city of Reidsville. This city has really helped me from my very childhood to my adulthood. And so I want to give back, and I am giving back the very best that I can. I went to elementary school and high school, played football here in the city of Reidsville. Also, I have a church. I'm a pastor. I've been a pastor in Reidsville for the last going on 28 years. And also, another great honor for me was to serve as a police officer. I served 30 years, and I was promoted to captain of patrol. And there I was given the responsibility to bring neighborhoods together. So I love working with people. I love people. I pray for our city, and I also I work very hard I want to bring new businesses in, and we've been able to make great accomplishments with the present council that we have, and I just believe we can continue to make other great accomplishments. And I'd like to talk about some of those accomplishments that we've been able to make later on, now that my time is running out.
Thank you, Mr. Hairston. We'll continue with the 2-minute introductions with Mr. Pothakar.
Thank you. I'm sorry for coming late because I just came from the flight from India. My mom was sick, so I was helping her for 2.5 months. I just came at 5 o'clock at airport and rushed here straight. So jet lag and everything now in 2 minutes. Probably 10% people might be knowing I used to run the gas station on Richardson Drive, Hemco, Food Mart, and Hemco International, and Hemco this and Hemco that. So after that, I retired in 2015, and now last time also I was a candidate, but that was the first failure is the step of success. So this time I'm trying. I have not put up my sign yet. I see in the signs of everybody, Sherry and Festerman and everybody, but I just came from flight, so tomorrow I'll start everything. Now my platform for contesting is for the retirement community, one. Second thing, the children's youth encouragement, and the third is due to the internet, everything is online and everything. So last time I was having a platform of smart city, and that was the same thing I wanted to maintain. And thanks a lot, and sorry for the late, because my dad passed away last year. This year my mom is sick, but I told her I'm going to go and come back again after election. And I need help and support from whole community and city. So from tomorrow I'll start it. So just give me a blessing, and I would like to do something best. And the same thing, our Prime Minister, Mr. Modi, he's from my town where I born and he born. So I'm the candidate in my small town here in Reidsville. So I'm from 35 years in this country. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Pothakar. Okay, so now we have the questions from the Reidsville Chamber of Commerce. And how we normally do is just start with the next person. So Shannon, Ms. Blackburn, we'll start with you on this question, and then we'll kind of still go around in a circle, if that's okay with everyone. Is everyone okay with that? Okay, so the first question from the Reidsville Chamber of Commerce, and I'll read it, and if you'd like for me to read it again when it's your turn, I'll be happy to do that as well, okay? Recently, there have been multiple projects concerning economic development that have the potential to impact Reidsville tremendously. How do you plan to work with the Chamber, the City of Reidsville, and other key partners in continuing to develop opportunities in Reidsville? Ms. Blackburn?
Thank you very much. I'm really excited about the opportunity to work with the Chamber, with the City of Reidsville, and continue our economic development. I think the biggest part of that is to attract and keep young people in Reidsville. I think bringing youth to the table is going to increase our population, for one, and strengthen our workforce, which will further attract large employers and give us a group of people to pull from to promote small business and entrepreneurship. But I think in order to accomplish that, our focus a lot of times on attracting youth is let's keep the people that graduate from Reidsville here. Let's give them the skills they need to get jobs. Let's provide jobs for them. But I think there's a lot more to it. I think that when people are looking for a place to settle down and to live and to create lives, they're looking for ways to make memories, ways to have experiences. So we need to create a community that is full of things to do, that will make people choose to settle down and live here, choose to spend their money here. and choose, even if they don't live here, maybe choose to visit us and spend their money here. And so I think that really driving at that youth piece, attracting youth through developing our things to do is what's going to really develop our economy. I also think that with that young workforce, strong workforce, we can attract more large employers as we've been doing up to this point. You know, I'm grateful for the work that the previous councils and our current council have done up to this point, and I just want to continue to build on that and bring fresh perspective. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Festerman?
Thank you. I guess if I had to identify my strong suit, it would probably be public safety. I have a public safety background. But second to that, I think it would be economic development. I'm extremely interested in economic development. I met many industries that's looking to come to Reidsville. I'd like to also remind you that in the last 4 years, we've created 945 industrial jobs, which I think speaks well for our community. In addition to that, I've served as a liaison to economic development at the county, met with numerous executives that were planning to come to Reidsville. We also, in addition to the Chamber, who does an outstanding job in promoting Reidsville, we also have the Regional Industrial Alliance. This is a group of folks that get together representing industries. They get together once every 3 months, and I'm the attendee at that meeting. We are continuing to show how we can further develop Reidsville in a more positive and industry-friendly way. I too agree with Ms. Blackburn. We need to keep folks here, and that's part of it also. But I think we've positioned ourselves really well to continue our development. Our industrial park out here is probably second to none for a city our size. If you go out there, you'll see street lights, sidewalks, all the things that industry is looking for. So we're in a real good position to grow. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Hairston?
Thank you. I'm just very excited about our city. I believe in customer service. The city of Reidsville, with our city manager and all of the staff, they are committed to being customer service friendly, because we want people to know that Reidsville, we want small businesses, we want industry, and anytime when people need to come in to apply for permits, for building permits or anything that needs to be done, we want to make it as easy as possible. I am very, very proud that we've had many ribbon cuttings throughout the city, and particularly in the downtown area. And so with the chamber has been very, very outreaching and touching so many people to let them know from the inside and outside that we do want as many businesses as we can get on the inside. And one of the things of the Business Expo, I think united we stand, divided we fall. And I think that's one of the great things about the Chamber, is bringing the businesses together. As we work together, we communicate, we have coffees, and I like being involved in those kind of things, because I think that's going to continue to stimulate growth. One of the big things I'm really proud about is the I-785. I believe that's going to be a great connection for our city. That's going to bring in major businesses. But again, we strive to be known as the friendliest city that loves everybody, and we truly do.
Thank you, Mr. Hairston. Mr. Pothakar?
Yeah. I am in this city from last 20 years almost. That way 22, but 20 I can claim it as the property taxpayer. My half the portion of the is in the city, half in the county. Since I came in, they say annexation will happen, and it has not happened in 20 years, the city limit. That is one of the things. As city's population, as she said, and everybody claims the population should go up, but the retirement population is going up, retirement community. We wanted to make it industrial community, because I'm an engineer, technical, technological, I'm an R&D person, plus I'm trying to see how the technical people can come to the city. Like we lost the tobacco industry, we lost the cotton industry, like only one we have Unify and this, so industrial area is totally ready, what we give the promotion to the outsider and do the promotion and advertisement for the industrial investor to come to the town, to the city, and then they will get the subsidy. And also with Rockingham community or Rockingham County, we have to work with them, or we have to work with the Guilford County or Danville. That way we can get more people. As all the other people are coming in another state, all the foreign companies are coming, China, Japan, all. One Japanese company come to city of Reidsville, that I'm glad about that. So one more, we need a French company, one from India, one from Italy, one from France. And that way I am hoping, and I'll help all the technical people, those who want to invest, how they can grow up here and grow their business and grow the community. Thanks.
Thank you. Mr. Gorham?
Ms. Wood, would you repeat the question?
I will, thank you. Recently, there have been multiple projects concerning economic development that have the potential to impact Reidsville tremendously. How do you plan to work with the Chamber, the City of Reidsville, and other key partners in continuing to develop opportunities in Reidsville?
I think one of the most important things that you have to do in order to enhance or improve economic development is to have boots on the ground. And in order to put those boots on the ground, you have to hire people who are going to be motivated to make this place a good place. We are very fortunate in the last 3 to 4 years to have hired Preston Mitchell, who's our city manager. And he's hired team members under him that have worked tirelessly to make sure that we have these kinds of, these 925 or so jobs. And the other enhancements that we've had in reference to economic development. And it's a blessing also that we've had a city council that has worked with the city manager and his team. It's been a team effort. There's also been a marriage of the city and the Chamber of Commerce. And that's been a healthy relationship, which has helped us to bring about economic development and to bring about that 925 jobs that we have. So I think the team that's hired at the top, that has a lot to do with the success of the city in reference to economic development. And also, the team has to be willing to work outside. Eden just got about 86 or so jobs that are going to be really good jobs. So we have to come together as a county in order to make sure that everybody is successful. And I'm agreeable with Ms. Blackburn. I was one of those who wanted to be here. We've got to do something that's going to motivate our young people to stay here in Reidsville, and economic development is going to be the key.
Thank you. So that was our first question. I've been asked to remind everyone to pull their mics a little closer so that you speak directly into your mic. That'll help to broadcast your message to the folks who are listening via the streaming. So just be sure to speak into your microphone. So we'll start with our next question, and Mr. Fesperman, we'll start with you, and we'll just continue to go around like we've been doing, okay? So our next question from the Reidsville Chamber of Commerce has to do with workforce development. Workforce development and education is a primary focus for the Chamber and its member business of the impact that it has on economic development. So what plans do you have to keep our young people local and give them the tools that they need to succeed? And what will you do as an elected official to support the schools in Reidsville? And I'll be happy to read the question again when it gets to you if you need me to.
I think I understood your question, and I would add to that not only the schools in Reidsville, but our Rockingham Community College. Right. I think the community college plays a vital role in what we're trying to do here. So I would certainly encourage folks to support the community college. I meet regularly with industry people to talk about how we can improve our industry and how we can be more industry friendly. I've seen a tremendous change in the government, the city government, in the last couple of years as we work closer with industries. As I said earlier, I meet regularly with the local industries on a 3-month basis. But yet we just got to get the word out there as to how friendly we are. If you allow me, I'd like to quote from, recently I met with Albad and Pella Wenders, and I'd like to make this comment. Allow me to quote from the Pella executive, and I think it sums up what we're all about. He made the following statement at the official announcement. Looking at all parts of the country, that Reidsville was quite appealing and a great location as a distribution gateway. He told me they could locate anywhere in the country, but they wanted to be part of a welcoming community. We as a community have made our city a place for business to start and continue to expand. That's what we're all about. And if we do that, young folks will have a job, and that's what we want to do. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Fessman. Mr. Hairston?
Yes, workforce initiative. One of the key things that industry is looking for is skilled people and people that are ready to go to work and can handle the job assignment. And, we have the tools here to prepare people. And many of our people are preparing through RCC, and there are apprenticeship programs that are out there to help people to get started, and as well as our Reidsville Senior High School, when they have a program there that they can start the young people off early in high school, preparing them so that when they graduate, they will be ready to go out there in the workforce with the basic skills to get started and to move on and to get more training and to get more education to do what is necessary. And also, when we're talking about workforce initiative, we're also talking about construction, freeway drive, the expansion of freeway drive so that we can have better access of vehicles and traffic coming in our city. And again, I-785 traffic in and out and around our city is going to attract more industry, and we certainly want to again do that. And there's a lot of efforts going on in that area. And our city is also very involved in employment boot camps and working with the chamber, working with other organizations to prepare our people to be the best that we possibly can be. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hairston. Mr. Pothakar, would you like for me to reread the question, or are you good?
No, I got it.
Okay, good.
Mainly workforce development. As an engineer from 1978, I graduated in India. Then I did my master's with NC State, and I was in R&D. So my inclination toward robotics is the main education level which we need to provide to the young people of the young as well as any age group can learn the robotics, because the future is with the robotics. Now robotics are replacing the job, like in all the grocery store, the cashiers are reducing, they are reducing the cashiers and getting automated checkout. And that way the robotics will play an important role for development of the city. And for robotic education, we have a good program with the RCC, Rockingham Community College. They have diploma, they have certificate, and they have going to the A&T doing the graduation. But there is a glitch on it, and that glitch to be solved by talking to the RCC. Because if we don't solve that problem, because they want a 10+2, like graduate plus no dropout, but somebody like Bill Gates, he's a dropout, means he started his business in the garage. That way anybody from city of Reidsville needed to be encouraged to go for robotics. And that is the only one easy way. In that field, we will have a lot many companies coming to looking for the workforce in our area for the robotics. So robotics is the main, and there the city should provide some initiative and some assistance or some help to the people, those who cannot pay the fees to the RCC for getting that robotics education. Thank you.
Thank you.
In reference to workforce development, the city has an initiative called employment boot camps, where our economic development person holds seminars that helps to prepare people for the workforce. There are also programs for educator internships. There's going to be a manual machining program at the Reidsville High School. It's in the process of being built. And there's a Center of Workforce Development at RCC. What I try to do 2 or 3 times a year is have a meeting with the superintendent. I give him an idea of what we need from the school systems. When we try to recruit industry to our fair city of Reidsville, there are 2 or 3 things that industry is looking for. They want to make sure that they're coming into a safe place. They want to make sure that they're coming into a place where there's infrastructure in good condition. They want to make sure that there's a good educational system there, so that they can promise these kinds of things to the people who will be coming in with the industry. So those 2 or 3 trips that I make to see him, and then in and out of the schools also to see what some of the needs are. That's what we do.
Thank you, Mr. Gorham. Ms. Blackburn?
Yes, thank you. So I definitely agree with the other candidates on this forum when they say that educating our workforce is critical. All the programs that Councilman Gorham mentioned, I think, are, where we need to be investing. I think that educating our workforce absolutely helps attract industry and large employers. And I definitely agree that we need to continue that. I also think that some education in small business and entrepreneurship can be helpful as well. People have great ideas. There's plenty of buildings to put them in. They just need the resources, the education to find the resources to implement those. I think this goes a little deeper though. Workforce development doesn't just have to mean educating workers, educating young people. You can develop your workforce by attracting young people that live in other areas, and they can come here and then your workforce grows. It doesn't have to be, the kids that are graduating from high school here and trying to put them in a job. I do think that it's important, we can partner with the counselors at our schools and help identify those students that maybe have decided college isn't the path for them, and we can give them the education and skills to get a job. But maybe we need to dig deeper. Maybe we need to create a community that people want to move to, create a community where people want to come and visit. And then that's going to attract more young people to live here, and that's how we can develop our workforce, not just educating the people that live here and grow up here.
Okay, thank you. So that was our second question from the chamber. We're scheduled to take a break, but do you want to keep going? Ready? Keep going for right now? Okay, because we have also some audience questions too. So we'll continue with our Chamber of Commerce questions. Mr. Hairston, you'll be the first one to answer this one, okay?
All right.
Is that right? Am I right? Yeah.
You're right.
Okay. I lose track a little bit sometimes. So, okay, so next question from the Reidsville Chamber of Commerce. For the last several years, we have asked the questions, what do you think the city of Reidsville could do to become more business friendly? This continues to be an important topic, specifically regarding communication with business owners, such as city ordinances, code enforcement, and other compliance information. How do you see a role in the chamber in your solution? So how can the chamber help with making the city of Reidsville a more business-friendly city?
Well, thank you for that question. I would say now that the chamber is doing a tremendous job of doing that very thing, of attracting more businesses here. But we all can stand improvement. We all can enhance what we are doing. And I think that it would be very, very important for all of us to just work even closer together because the city of Reidsville and the chamber and small businesses, they meet and they discuss. The downtown corporation, everybody is trying to work together to make this place a better place. But it never hurts to go in and even do even more brainstorming and listening and just opening ourselves up for new ideas. And sometimes it's a matter of just thinking out of the box and saying, you know, what is it going to take? And just like we're saying here tonight, we want to be a city for everybody, for our senior citizens, for our youth, and for everybody. And it's going to take all of us coming together and working together and understanding what each other has to offer, and building upon that to make it a better city. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hairston. Mr. Prathakar?
Yeah, about business friendly, our town is a friendly, no doubt. Because since I came, everybody is friendly with me. I did the business in this, but business friendly, technically and internationally and globally, I am talking now. Because we are like a conservative town, conservative city. I am not blaming, but we used to have good industries, but we lost it due to the situation and everything. Now we wanted to do, like Winston-Salem, they are doing the PTRC, Piedmont Triad Regional Council, and we are in Piedmont. So we can get the help from Piedmont Triad Regional Council. There is one person who do the project report for the small businesses and who charge almost $2,000 to make a project report. That person we can contact and he can do the work for the person who wanted to do the start a business friendly atmosphere in the town. By promoting him, he can consult it once a month to newcomers, those who want to start the business. So that is one of my suggestions. And Chamber of Commerce might be knowing how to contact him, but if he can, if they need some help, I am there. Second thing, the ladies, means women power is very important. We are not utilizing the woman power of the town, of the city, and that is to be encouraged. Like my own daughter, she said, "Daddy, there is nothing in Reidsville." And I said, "No, we got potential, but you don't look at it that way." So we have to encourage the women, we have to encourage the young generation, plus we have to encourage the small investor, because people don't have big money. When I came to this town, I was having only $5,000. And that time, $5,000, you cannot even run the house for a month. But in that, I started the business. So in city, those who come, you have not to scare them like you need $1 million. Like one person who scared me to start a new business. So I would like to take out that scariness. People come to this town, become a business friendly, so make them friendly.
Thank you, Mr. Prathakar. Mr. Gorham?
I'd like to say that I think that the city council and that city government has a very good working relationship with the chamber as it is today. And I think that the key to establishing a relationship with new industry and with new business is communication. So if there's good communication between the chamber and that new business, and good communication between the chamber and the city as that new business acquires its place and joins the team of Reidsville, I think that there will be success. We need to get to the point to whereas if there is a no in reference to zoning and planning, that we can give that no in a way that it can be made a yes, rather than just giving a no. We need to develop a plan whereas there will be success no matter what the business is.
Thank you, Mr. Gorham. Ms. Blackburn?
Would you mind repeating the question?
I'll be happy to. For the last several years, we have asked the questions, what do you think the city of Reidsville could do to become a more business-friendly city? This continues to be an important topic, specifically regarding communication with business owners, such as information about city ordinances, code enforcement, and other compliance information. How do you see a role in the chamber for this solution?
Thank you, Jean Ann. You know, again, I do agree with the other candidates on this forum that the chamber can be really a resource hub for those new businesses trying to come here, but not just for industry, again, not just for large companies that are trying to navigate our red tape and understand our zoning and ordinances, but also for young people with an entrepreneurial spirit. There are people with amazing ideas that just want to implement them and have no idea where to start. And if they had somewhere to go that had all these resources available for them to help them navigate you know, the city ordinances and the zoning, you know, I am a small business owner in this town, and it is complicated to open a business. And to have, you know, them there helping you liaise with the city, liaise with the Reidsville Downtown Corporation if it's downtown, just helping you find the resources that you need can make a huge difference, you know, in getting more businesses open. And not just large industry, but also small business that's going to, again, build a community rich with things to do that's going to attract more people. In addition to that, I think that the chamber can help not only attract new businesses and get new small businesses open, but care for those that are already here, right? So we don't just want to get them open and then send them on their way. You know, we need to take care of those businesses that are already open. You know, be a liaison for them, again, between the city. When things are coming, when changes are coming, you know, small business owners are busy people, and they don't really always have the time to really understand the changes. So having the chamber there to help them understand the critical parts as they're coming along the way, I think could really increase that customer service and, you know, business-friendly city aspect. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Blackburn. Mr. Festerman?
Thank you. I think the Chamber of Commerce probably feels really good about the way this forum is going. Everybody's singing the praises of the Chamber, and I too would echo those praises. I've seen the Chamber come a long ways and have outreaches to our community and serve our community. I'd also like to thank the Downtown Corporation, who meets on a regular basis and is fostering good relationships with people. They facilitate facade grants. You talked about entrepreneurs. Those people are people who need money, and they can help make those avenues available. And we have numerous folks in town who've offered their services, which I think is, and I see a couple of them out in the audience tonight, that volunteer their time to make sure that the entrepreneurs get the leadership that they need. We talked, Councilman Gorham talked about the city staff. We have, I've seen a tremendous change in the city staff in the last 10 years. We're much more business friendly now. We seem to understand. I think there was a point in time when you came to the city and if you had a problem, the answer often would be no. Well, it may be no initially now, but if you do, but they'll tell you ways that we can overcome that no and may turn that into a positive and allow you to proceed like you want to. So it all helps. And again, I think that's sweet. But I agree with everything that's been said up here tonight. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. There's some great ideas. Our last question from the chamber is I'm going to give you an opportunity to come up with some problem solving for us, okay? So, Mr. Pothakar, we start with you on this one. And the question is, in your opinion, what are the top 3 issues that our businesses are facing in the city of Reidsville? And if elected, what will you do to address them? And some of you have already touched on these, so come out with your top 3 and what you would do to address those issues.
Mainly the location of the industrial area plus business community and the population, and the encouragement to the minorities. In minority, I can tell women, disabled, because they got more potential but they cannot explore it. So that's one thing. Second thing, we can give them the if I get elected, I'll say $5,000 just to come. We have to see the economics of the city or Chamber of Commerce, how much can we afford. But 5 people, $5,000 to get started in the city, the business. So that 5,000 will give them the 10 years loan. If they stay in business, they get the credit. It will be nullified and it will not be charged. But if they quit before 5 years or 10 years span, so it is only $500 or $50 a month. It's not bad. So that's second thing. And the third thing, we have to give them the breathing finance. Now to find out a breathing finance company, like there is one company in New York, Bees to Finance, like they give the financing, the installment starts after 1 year. So they give $1 million. Depends upon your creditability and all qualification, that to be contacted. These are the 3 actions I'll take and contact these people and get them involved with the community. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Gorham?
Could you do that question again, please?
I will, thank you. In your opinion, what are the top 3 issues that our businesses are facing in the city of Reidsville? And if elected, what would you do to address them?
Top 3 issues that our businesses are facing. Small business downtown, the age of our buildings is probably one of the biggest issues that we have. And another issue would be trying to get those buildings in shape so that we can place people inside those buildings. The third issue may be recruitment and a method for recruitment for small business in the downtown. I think that we have gone a long ways to take care of those 3 issues with our new economic development person, Jeff Garska. He's a very hard-working individual, and he makes contact with those persons who are in charge of the buildings, and he also does a very good job of recruiting new business. So I would say that the city is at this point working towards taking care of the issues that are faced by many of the business owners here. And we're doing the very best that we can at this present time to do that.
Thank you, Mr. Gorham. Ms. Blackburn?
Yes, I can tell you from my perspective as a business owner, the top 3 issues that businesses are facing is staffing, not enough customers, and customers spending less money. Hiring is really challenging when you don't have a workforce to pull from that has the skills that you need to do the job. When you don't have a population of people that want to come and spend money in your business, you don't have enough customers. And when those people aren't making enough money, they're spending less when they do come to your business. And I think that those are the 3 biggest challenges for businesses in Reidsville. I think that my plan or desire for Reidsville really speaks to resolving those issues. I think building this community that attracts youth, really strengthens our workforce and solves that staffing problem right away. You build this community, people want to move here, they want to live here, and suddenly you have a workforce available to fill those staffing needs. And then that cycle, that youth then causes the growth, right? So the people come, your population grows, you attract more large employers, more people open new businesses, and it comes back around. We attract more youth. It's a growth cycle that just continues. And then right in the center of it is our community, you, making it happen, and then our leadership caring for you. We invest in educational programs to help these small businesses and entrepreneurs to help young people get skills to fill these industry roles. and then invest in parks and recreation to give even more things to do. It's just a cycle, it's a growth cycle, and that would solve all of the business problems that we have here in Reidsville today. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Blackburn. Mr. Festerman?
Thank you. I guess if I had to identify the number one obstacle, it would be regulations. Those regulations come to our local businesses through the state, federal, and local. So I think it's a real challenge to negotiate that. And I think that's where we play, as the city staff, we play a critical role in making sure we understand those regulations and they impart it to these future entrepreneurs so they can adapt to these regulations. And they are difficult. And one of the things I would have to compliment our staff now, we do a much better job than we have in the past in being business friendly. Another thing I think is developing a quality workforce. We must continue to strive to develop a workforce that local companies can use and benefit by. We've seen a real shortage of folks going to the first employment, soft skills, lacking the proper way to fill out an application. Sometimes I've been told by human resource people that folks will come in with a telephone trying to talk while they're filling out an application. Those are the kind of things we need to try to help. And then, of course, I think it's just being business friendly. The city needs to do that, the chamber does. We all need to make it welcoming to the people who are talking about coming to our community. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Festerman. Mr. Hairston?
I still believe in the police slogan that says we protect and serve. And I feel like that is a great responsibility of the city, that we do serve. And I think one of the things, important things that businesses need to know that they are important and that the city does care, and that every business has this support of the city, that we will do all that we can. So communication, getting the word out, using website, letters, door to door, but just getting the word out, because there are some people that perhaps still don't know all the ABCs of what they need to do, and maybe not even feel like they have to support. Even though we are trying, I think we still have to try even harder. And then second, finance. I think about Lucky City microbrewery and how that finance is a very important part, and the city was able to help Lucky City get state funding. And that's going to be a very big plus for our downtown area once it gets started very soon, because we're seeing this all around the state. But it's got to be a partnership with the city, the chamber, and everybody's got to, we must work together. And lastly, again, and I've said it, and I still say it again, customer service. Anytime I go into a restaurant and eat or anything, I like to feel like that I'm being treated very special. And I think every business in this city should have the right to feel that way and should be given the very best of service. Thank you.
Thank you. So that concludes our official questions from the chamber. Do we need to take a break? You guys want a break or no? 5 minutes, risk of losing our streamers. Okay, 5-minute break.
I'm okay to go.
I'm okay too.
I'm okay too.
Everybody's okay?
Okay.
Okay, well, we'll keep going. So we have some questions from our audience. And Mr. Gorman, I think we're back around to you to start with the first question. And it's going to kind of dovetail, the first question kind of dovetails into the last question we just had. And it starts, we have some wonderful downtown merchants, including great restaurants and boutiques. What are your plans to continue to revitalize our downtown and save our old dilapidated buildings?
What we've done, again, is we have, I think, boots on the ground have a lot to do with the revitalization of downtown. We have a very qualified economic development person And I think that the RDC, the Reidsville Downtown Corporation, is going to be the key to the success of the businesses that we do have downtown. We have a very cooperative Reidsville Downtown Corporation at this time. They work as a team, and they work for the betterment of the city as a whole. And I do believe that the support that the council gives them in their endeavors is going to mean a whole lot. I also feel like that the chamber will be able to help with that situation also. The teamwork that we have with them, the marriage that we have with the chamber is going to help keep those small businesses going downtown. And we're going to do everything that we possibly can do as a city council to make sure that downtown is successful. That's one of the areas that industry and small business looks at when they come into your city. They want to see what kind of downtown you have, and they want to see what life in the downtown is going to be like. So you can bet your bottom dollar we're going to be working diligently to make sure and to ensure that those people who do come to our downtown are successful.
Thank you, Mr. Gorham. Ms. Blackburn?
Yes, thank you. I think that downtown revitalization is absolutely critical to attracting the youth and the young population that I've been talking about all night. I think that, the core of any community is their downtown. And, if you think about, I'm going to go to Greensboro and do something this weekend, you're going to start downtown, you're going to park your car, you're going to walk around and find a restaurant, find a place to go dance, find a place to have a drink. We need that here. That's what we're missing. That's why our kids are moving away after college. So I think that it is very critical. I think part of our challenge is that, we don't have a base of people that have the means, the resources, the education to necessarily come in and revitalize these buildings. So, our opportunity here is maybe to reach out to investors in other communities that, maybe they're looking to open businesses in a downtown area, but they're finding buildings that are just extremely out of their price range in those communities that they're familiar with. We have ridiculously affordable buildings in this community that any investor from another community could come in and open something there. So I think, attracting investors, not just trying to promote small business and entrepreneurship from within our community, that's obviously something we want to do, but also attract others to come here is critical to that downtown revitalization. And the downtown revitalization is a critical component of attracting and keeping youth here, which further develops our economy. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Blackburn. Mr. Festerman?
I too agree that downtown revitalization has always been a priority for me for many, many years. Of course, I take great pride in Market Square. I think it's really a jewel for our city, and obviously attracts a lot of folks. We got a lot of things going on, and I look at the jars being half full instead of half empty. Kelly Way is a nice addition, very pretty site. We've recently added checkerboards in our mural parks. We've encouraged folks to do paint hydrants. You see, if you look at all the fire hydrants in the city, you see they're very vibrant in color and they look super good. So we're continuing to encourage people to take a good look at what goes on. We've come a long ways, and of course we've got further ways to go, but I think we're going to get there. But that's the way I see it. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Hairston?
I am very, very budget conscious, and especially when it comes to spending city funds, but I don't mind at all investing in our city and our downtown. We have the most beautiful downtown, I say second to none. When we look at the murals and we look at the new businesses that have come in. When I first came on the council, many of the businesses were closed, but now it seems just about all of the downtown section are filled with someone running a small business. That is absolutely fantastic. And I enjoy driving through the downtown, and again, just looking around and just seeing the progress that we have made. And I just know that we will continue to to make that kind of progress in the painting of the fire hydrants, to murals, and everything that Councilman Festerman has said. Again, it's just a matter of all of us continuing to work together, because all of us want really the same goal, is to be the very best that we can. And we're getting there, but we're going to have to continue to work very hard. And I'm so glad to be a part of the team that's striving to be the very best and second to none. And so that's what I say.
Thank you, Mr. Hairston. Mr. Pothakar?
My one point is like, if one is to increase the population, that is to attract more people. As the new buildings are building up and the old building to revitalize and remodel it, it takes time, but it takes money. Instead of that, if we just make an advertisement on the website that Reidsville, if you come and invest in our town, our city, you will get a free water for 10 years, free sewer for 10 years. That kind of attraction or incentive, people will look at it and they will come. Once they come here, then we can explore more ideas and more incentive to them. But just to attract them, like Mount Airy or Mayodan or Madison or Brown Summit, Oak Ridge, there they have attraction. So that kind of attraction we have to start here. The equestrian, that our project is still going on, and that kind of something new attraction we have to develop it. That will bring more people and pay attention. I am not criticizing, but I have to criticize as a change, because I am there to change the city. So from long time, nobody took initiative to change the attitude of the city council. What daring step or advanced step we have to take it. So we have to risk it to attract the people, and that what we have to advertise, that free water, free sewer, and a free transportation for the business people. If three things are allowed, incentives started, then people will look at it. Otherwise, many people don't know where the Reidsville is. So we want it to be at least in Northeast, New York to Florida, everybody should know there is a small town, a small city, Reidsville, and that's what we are lagging.
You know, I'm going to take a minute to kind of go off script here, because everyone has been talking about things that you can do here in Reidsville to improve the quality of life, get more business. What would you do to promote Reidsville beyond? I'm a realtor and I love selling Reidsville because of your location. You're between Greensboro and Danville. It's a beautiful town, good water, good tax rates. Give me your best idea for promoting Reidsville beyond Reidsville. Mr. Gorham.
I think one of the biggest things we can do is tell people about the good things that are going on here. Tell people about the team concept that we have. Tell people how we get along here in Reidsville. Tell people how we've improved customer service here in Reidsville. Tell people that we're not just a football city or a basketball city. We're a city that works and strives to make a community better. Tell people about our Art Care Center, that's state of the arts, and that serves, started with about 250 people. Now it serves 2,000 plus. List the number of things that we do. And I think that one of the big things that's going to be a selling point for Reidsville is the I-85 connector, that blue shield. I asked my daughter what the blue shield meant, what she thought it would mean to Reidsville, and she said, "Dad, it'll put us closer to Greensboro." So that means that those people who would like to work in Greensboro might want to live in Reidsville. That might mean that industry that might have thought about Greensboro might think more about Reidsville. It puts us closer to the airport. It puts us closer to Raleigh, to Durham, to Charlotte. If we just preach those good things that we have here, I think that'll entice people to come.
Thank you, Mr. Gorham. Ms. Blackburn?
Yes, I think that Reidsville has a lot to offer beyond Reidsville. I think one thing to be aware of, is there is a large population boom happening in the Triad right now. And, there's lots of jobs there, but there's not lots of homes there in those people's, affordability range. I think that Reidsville has property that is affordable, that people can invest in for their homes. So I think that is a huge attraction to bring them here. And then if we do continue to build this community full of things to do, it even further attracts those people to live here beyond just, great property value and low tax rates. I also think that it's got amazing opportunities for investments beyond home or real estate. I think as we've talked about with downtown revitalization and buildings that need repair and that sort of thing, because they are in need of repair, they're very affordable for purchase. And if you have, any sort of financial resources available, there's a lot of investment property in Reidsville that could really promote it beyond Reidsville. And I also think, we have the potential to have all the things to do that big cities have and still have that, amazing small town, simple, friendly feel. And I think that really is the attraction, right? So you have all the things that are in this Greensboro and Danville, but you don't have to drive 30 minutes in traffic, to get to those things. We have this small community where you can get everything you need within a 5-minute drive and not have to hear horns blaring and all that. So I think it's a wonderful community, and that is really how to promote it beyond Reidsville. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Blackburn. Mr. Festerman?
Thank you. We do have a lot going on, a lot of things I'm very proud of. I think folks need to know about the IB program at the high school. It's second to none. We have folks coming from all parts of the county just to come to our IB program. We're very proud of that. Lake Reidsville is considered to be a bright star in the county. Folks travel and spend a lot of time out there and spend money, and camp, and do all those sort of things. Our care, as Councilman Gorham just talked about, we spent $5 million making it one of the more attractive seniors. And it's known as our care, but I have a tendency to call it a senior center because it attracts a lot of seniors. But you go by there anytime. If we made a mistake, we probably didn't put enough parking in. That's right. It's crowded all the time, so we're extremely proud of that. Our team program is doing really well. It's well attended. And of course, I don't think it hurts that we're part of our hospital is part of the Cone health system. We can be known as a great place to go to the hospital, but if there's such thing as a nice visit to the hospital. But anyway, those are the kind of things. We've got a lot going on, so we're very proud. I've never been more excited about Reidsville's future now than I am today. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hairston.
Very important to get the word out because we really have a very, very nice city. I often wear my Team Reidsville T-shirt when I go outside the city, and I'm always asked, okay, you from Reidsville? Yes, it gives me opportunity to say something about Reidsville, but also what is happening in the city of Reidsville. The city has already hired a public relations person to create a residential recruitment campaign because, again, we have so much to offer in this city, from senior citizens to the youth, to education, and to small businesses. We have so much to offer. Also, the city has created 2 websites, Rise Up Reidsville website, and also the Rock in Reidsville website, that we really highlight some of the key points in Reidsville, the downtown area, and some of the historical districts, to let people on the outside get a look on the inside of what's going on in Reidsville. And also the city has established a reside in Reidsville program for new residents. And so we are still also working as a council and with the city manager and with the city employees and with the chamber in coming up with even more creative ideas to get the word out to the world that Reidsville is the place to be.
Yeah.
So that's my answer.
Thank you, Mr. Hairston. Mr. Pathakar?
One thing, my point to take a big action is just to advertise on the highway, come to city of Reidsville to try your business or try your luck or try your venture, and we'll support you, and not only support you but supporting with the following attractions, like that kind of one sign on 85, one sign on 40, and one sign from Richmond, like from Virginia border. That will bring more businesses, and some enterprising people, they just wanted to, they are not aware of what we can get, because cheaper, we have cheaper real estate value. I mean, we can get a cheaper land, we got plenty of water, transportation, airport closeness, so all the industrial or business essentiality, main factors are available, and we have a labor, and we have very honest people, and very friendly people, and nice people, so there is no crime rate. So it is also best thing, the education, and everybody feel secure till they complete their life in the Reidsville. That's what we wanted to tell to the public by putting a sign or putting a lottery system. Do every month one lottery system, that whosoever win that lottery, he can invest in Reidsville, and we'll give him the free water, free something, 5 years, 10 years free. That way you will get more enterprising people. That's what I will attract, means marketing, bottom line. We are not doing the lot of marketing. And just talking is not going to help.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I think we could take sound bites from everyone's answers and create a great promotional video. Wonderful. Love Reidsville. So we got kind of a serious question now from the audience. And Ms. Blackburn, I think we'll start with you this time. What is your vision for the American Tobacco Campus?
That's a really good question. You know, we have some customers that have been working there through the time where the business has been slowly ramping down, and you know, it's sad to see it closing. And I honestly, I don't have a solution at the time, but I think that what's really critical is that you have forward-thinking people working together to come up with solutions. I think that, you know, if I am on the council and sitting with these councilmen trying to address this issue, I am going to bring about ideas and promote ideas that fit the theme I've been talking about all night. What are we going to put there that's going to attract youth and keep young people here? What are we going to put there that's going to develop the economy even further, that's going to attract large employers, that's going to promote small business and entrepreneurship? And what are we going to put there that will further take care of the community of people that we have here now? And so, you know, right here on the spot, no, I don't have an idea, but I know that I'm going to bring the perspective of a business owner, the perspective of a person who loves this community, and a perspective of a person who feels like building our population and keeping young people living here is the most important thing for our community.
Thank you. Mr. Fesman?
Thank you. I have to say that I've been, of course, obviously like all of us, disappointed when the Commonwealth made their announcement. But I also like to congratulate them on how willing they've been to work with the city as we try to market that building. It's a difficult sale, as all of you know. It's a big building with multiple floors, but I got to give credit to our city manager and economic development. They're already in conversation with folks about that building. We've had some, without getting too far ahead of myself, there are some interest in that building. Hopefully some things will develop, but it will not be easy. That's been such a large part of our history. So we're going to miss them. But I am really pleased that Commonwealth has been so easy to talk to and so willing to try to reach out, because they realize what it's going to do to our city. Of course, the Commonwealth is our largest taxpayer. So we've got to do some things to try to mitigate that situation. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hairston.
Yes, we are certainly saddened by Commonwealth Brand's leaving. I think it's December the 19th will be the last day for the employees. But this is just not a city sadness. This is a state sadness. It's a historical place. It has hired many people across the state of North Carolina, and so therefore our city council, we'll be working with our county commissioners, we'll be working with our state representatives. We'll be bringing everyone to the table, and especially our economic development director, our chamber, and all of us, we're going to have to work very, very hard. And I do believe, as Councilman Festerman said, there is some interest out there. And we just believe if we work hard enough and we highlight and really showcase what we really have here, someone will get it. And so there's light at the end of the tunnel, and I think we're going to be okay because we're going to work very hard. We're not going to just give up on it. We're going to work hard to get someone in there.
Thank you, Mr. Hairston. Mr. Pathakar?
Yeah, about the campus, like tobacco, Commonwealth, or American tobacco, or Golden Leaf, whatever you call it, it was a best industry which attracted me to this town. And I got the business from them, and I prosper myself. But now we have to utilize that facility or that building such a way. We have to hire a consultant, international consultant, not only the North Carolina consultant, who have wide variety of exposure. They advertise in the whole globally, and then you will get an entrepreneur who need that much big campus, and that one there we can announce that 10% real estate value will be adjusted among the property tax for the 10 years, and that way the big Japanese company or some other company can invest, and that will bloom up, that will bring us in a status of industrial town. We wanted to make this town as an industrial town, or start with again we lost the miller there, so we can start here beer manufacturing, or because tobacco is now getting out of sight. E-cigarette is going out of sight. So related to the tobacco and all that, now textile, it is hard, but it is a aerospace industry or Honda jet, that kind of people we have to contact them. Honda people or automotive industry can come, and then they can utilize that facility. That is my point.
Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Gorham?
Like Councilman Festerman said, our economic development director and our city manager has been looking into this situation even prior to the closing of the plant, because there had been rumor that it would be closing. And I do believe that there is some interest in the building, but at this point in time, I can't say anything much about that. But if we're just looking at what I'd like to see, yes, I'd love to see a senior development there. Perhaps a place set up for apartments, and perhaps like a mall within the building, so that there would be medical care, so that there would be a five and dime maybe inside there, restaurant, things of that nature. But it would be nice to have a senior development set up there.
Okay, thank you. We have one more question from the audience. Mr. Festerman, we'll start with you with this one, and you're a good place to start with this one. What is your previous involvement with the city? For example, commission appointments, volunteering, serving, or attending meetings. So take a few moments and tell us your involvement so far with the city.
Am I still limited to 3 minutes?
2 minutes,
I go
right?
back a long time.
Yes, sir.
Of course, in my closing comments, I'll make some reference to what I've done in the past. But as all of you probably, many of you folks know, I've had the good fortune to serve as your police chief for 34 years, and also as mayor and city councilman. So Reidsville is my home also. I never lived anywhere else, never had any desire to live anywhere else. And I expect this is where I will die. So I'm not sure I could add anything else to that. But just, I think most folks, I don't see any strangers out there tonight. I think most of you know me and know how committed I have been to the city. And I will tell you, 56 years I've been part of either as an elected official or appointed official, 56 years. I still have the same enthusiasm, and I'm getting into my closing comment. I still have the same enthusiasm today that I had when I was first sworn in as a police officer in 1963. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hairston.
I love that question because, again, I just love Reidsville, and I've been a servant of Reidsville for 30 years, and serving on the Reidsville Police Department for those 30 years. And one of the things that I really enjoyed, I was a DARE officer for many years, and I worked with the young people, encouraging them to say no to drugs and how to handle peer pressure, negative peer pressure, and so forth. And so that was a great delight. And many of those young people now are grown, and they have children of their own. So, and they see me, and they smile and speak, and it really makes me feel very good. And also community watch program, neighborhood watch program. When I was in the Reidsville Police Department, I had 56 neighborhood watch groups, and I don't think that's quite that many at this present time, even though there are watch groups in the police department. But I had 56, and so that was my job. I went around to all the neighborhoods and talking to people and uniting everyone to work with the city, work with the police department, and keeping our neighborhood safe. And it was just a great enjoyment, and that's why I'm here on the council. And I just thank those who voted me in to serve on the council, because that's what I am. I'm a servant of this city, and I feel like I will be that way until I die.
Thank you, Mr. Hairston. Mr. Pothakar?
Can you repeat the question?
I
Because
will. Yes.
It is.
What has been your previous involvement with the city? For example, have you been on any commission or appointed to any commissions? What type of volunteer work have you been doing? What other capacities, serving, attending meetings? What's been your previous involvement with the city of Reidsville?
My previous involvement is with the Goodwill. I do volunteer at Goodwill, plus I volunteer for the religious activity, which is very much with the yoga classes, and I invite the people to do the yoga and interfaith community for the city, but it is online and it is not much in the city. And now I'm ready. From this year I can do a lot of involvement in the community, and that's what I'm hoping, because now I'm retired, I'm getting a fixed income, and I got plenty of time and I can give that time. Before that I was not having time to give it to the city, but now I got plenty of time, and that's what I'm telling all the people, like I'm there to work hard, because I cannot sit down idle in the house. I am an active person. I wanted and work, either volunteering or money making or even non-money making, but people's life is getting better by my help. That kind of institution I wanted to start. So I'm thinking to start a yoga center in the town, and that yoga center will make a healthy people. Then people will get together, and then people will understand, and other people from other side of the county, they can come to our county, and from there the people will get attracted to the city. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Gorham?
Prior to my election in '05 as Reidsville's Mayor Pro Tem, I work with the city of Reidsville in the classroom through the DARE program and also through the fire safety program. And during my time as an educator, I also served a couple of terms on the Reidsville Planning Board, which brought about the interest to run for the elected position as city councilman. So I've been here in the city of Reidsville all of my life and have enjoyed all of my experiences that I've had working with the city government.
Thank you, Mr. Gorham. Ms. Blackburn?
Yes, thank you. So I'm 36 years old. I can't compete with 56 years in elected office, 30 years as a police officer, and an adult lifetime of education. I can't do that. I can tell you what I do bring. You know, I did in high school have some student government and student leadership institute involvement, so I am familiar with the process. I also was involved in the International Baccalaureate program that Councilman Festerman mentioned earlier. I graduated from Reidsville with an IB diploma and did a lot of community service through that particular program. After high school, I got my associate's degree at RCC. So I have definitely some education and was pursuing my bachelor's at UNCG, but I didn't finish it. So I do have some education, and then I made my way into the corporate sector. I spent time as a project manager, as a team leader, and so I've developed a lot of leadership skills, a lot of teamwork skills, team building skills, and I feel like I can bring that to the table. And then from there, I left the corporate sector and came to open the Celtic Fringe in downtown Reidsville, and so I also have the small business perspective. So what I don't bring to the table an experience. I bring in what I don't bring to the table in service with the city experience, I bring in corporate and small business experience and a fresh perspective. You know, these guys have done an amazing job over the years with our community, and I'm so grateful to have, you know, benefited from their service. But I do think that there can be benefit from new ideas, from pushing the status quo while working with the people that established it. And so that's what I'd like to bring to the table, even though I don't bring years of experience in the city of Reidsville. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Blackburn. Well, I think we're at closing remarks. We're good? Is everyone ready for closing remarks? Who wants to start? Mr. Gorham?
I'd like to say something about the International Baccalaureate program. It brings about a big smile because I was a part of the making of the International Baccalaureate program at Reidsville High School in the early 90s. So I'm glad it's helped some people. And I'm proud to be sitting beside you as a candidate for City Council. I've been here, as I said earlier, all of my life. I have always wanted to be a servant. I started to drive a school bus as a high school student, and that's something that doesn't happen anymore. And decided I wanted to be a teacher there, just working with the youth. From there, I had several job offers, but I wanted to be here in Reidsville. I came back to Reidsville to teach, and after I retired from teaching, I wanted to serve. Continue to serve, and I decided to put my hat in the ring for the city council position that was open. I would like to continue to be the eyes of the community. I'd like to continue to be the ears of the community, and I'd like to be the voice of the community in Reidsville. I'd like to see those 900 or so jobs grow. I'd like to see the city of Reidsville, the downtown area, continue to grow and be revitalized. I want to see the day that Ms. Blackburn wants to see, when the young people want to be here in Reidsville. And my time is up.
Thank you, Mr. Gorham. Finish your closing statement.
Reidsville is a special place, and I think that a lot of things have been said tonight that have been very touching for me. and that I think if there were more people here that could hear some of the good things that are going on here and some of the good things that the present council is doing and trying to do to make this a better place, I think there'd be a lot more excitement and there would be a lot more people who would want to be here. I'm done.
Thank you, Mr. Gorham. Who wants to go next?
I'll go next.
Mr. Hairston.
I want to say that Reidsville is a place that is very unique. You know, it seems like that everybody knows everybody, but we know that is not the case. But so many of the people in Reidsville, even if you don't know them, you speak to them, they'll speak back to you, they'll smile. And there's so many people in Reidsville is willing to reach out and to help whoever they can. I think that's what makes our city so strong. And I want to say this, this man right here, he didn't know me, and I was just 20 years old, and he saw me at the YMCA, and I was a pretty good weightlifter, and he said, "You interested in being a police officer?" I said, "Never thought about it." But long story short, started my journey. I accepted his offer, and I'm very glad that that offer was made to me. And those 30 years that I've spent with the city of Reidsville has truly, truly been a blessing to me and my family. And so I owe so much to the city of Reidsville. And I'm willing to do whatever is necessary, whatever it takes, and to work with whoever I need to work with to help us to continue to advance. I just believe in our city because I do believe in our people. I've never worked a job outside of Reidsville, and I've had some different jobs. Even when I was at the police department, I had some jobs that I worked on the side. But I've always worked in Reidsville, and everything has always been about Reidsville. And so again, thanks Reidsville. Thanks Reidsville, and love you much.
Thank you, Mr. Hairston. We're down to 3. Who's next?
I'll take a shot at it.
Okay, Mr. Festerman.
I think that some folks would tell you that my best decision was hiring Captain Harrison. He surely became a real joy to work with and provided many benefits to the city. Another thing I'd also like to add just briefly too, that when I mentioned IB program a while ago, I wouldn't realize that was going to become quite a subject. But I was on the council when we funded the IB program, and it was somewhat controversial because other folks were telling us that's a county function. The city doesn't need to be involved in it. But I take great pride in the IB program. I also have a grandson that graduated through the program too, but it's been really made a difference in our school system. We have folks, and I'm taking too much time, but we have folks that come from outside this area just to go to the IB program at the high school. But let me say this. Let me make one thing perfectly clear. All the improvements we have talked about tonight, the city's quality of life, appearance, and image, have been a team effort of the council, of city staff, and many groups working together for the common goal, as we've talked about in the chamber. While I didn't make these improvements by myself, I do believe that my leadership qualities, my ability to bring different groups together, and my contacts in the city and across the county and the state have been crucial in their implementation. I want what's best for the region. I truly believe that in the next 4 years, there is no limit to what we can accomplish for our community. I truly believe our jar is half full, not half empty. I would be remiss if I didn't give a special thanks to the work of our city manager, Preston Mitchell. In the interest of full disclosure, I cannot take the credit for his hiring because I was not on the council when these gentlemen hired him. However, I have supported his position and his efforts. I can continue to be impressed with his dedication and commitment to the city of Reidsville. Thanks for your faith in me, and I would appreciate your vote on November the 5th. And just a side note to the city manager, we kid each other quite a bit. I've had the opportunity to work for 6 city managers. And I tell him all the time, sooner or later we'll get a good one, but we're working on that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Festerman.
IB program, my daughter completed the IB program from Reidsville High School. And that time I was like, good. And that should be continued. That attracts the people. And there are 9 people from IB program. They are one is in New York, one is in Chicago from Reidsville. They are the daughters of my friends. And I tell them, come here and do the business in Reidsville. But they said, there is no Reidsville incentive, like in New York they got the incentive. So what I am trying to see, the youngster before 10 years they left the Reidsville, they should come back and explore the Reidsville, where they spent their childhood, they got their education, they got their foundation, so they are supposed to pay it back. And one more thing before closing, my wife loves Reidsville. She said there is no place other than Reidsville to live and stay and die in Reidsville. So I am stuck with her. So Reidsville, I am going to help Reidsville to help my wife, plus the people of Reidsville. And my daughter, she said, Daddy, I'll come back to Reidsville after 10 years. And my daddy and mom, they visited Reidsville, and my dad passed away last year. And then before that, I talked to him one day, and he said, Reidsville is a good town. I say, yeah. And my mom says, can I come again to Reidsville? I said, no, now there is nothing in Reidsville. But she's 92, daddy was 95, so it is hard. But Reidsville is known to my family from last 30 years. Thank you. And I hope if I get this time votes, I can change the Reidsville little bit better and best to my knowledge and best to my ability. And the leader of the India, who is from last 70 years, who got elected, I got leadership from him to get involved, because he was my guru, we call it, the guiding person. And he's leading the India and he's leading internationally, and Donald Trump, and they both got special time in Texas and New York. And he told me this time, go to Reidsville, go to North Carolina, win in North Carolina seat, and then come and see me. So I wanted to finish his dream also. So I have my dream, I have his dream, I have my dad's dream. My friends also say, why you are not winning? I say, let me know why I am not winning. And I asked my wife, and she said, because you don't love Reidsville. If you start loving Reidsville, you will win. Thank you. I'm just joking also.
Thank you.
That's me, right?
Ms. Blackburn.
All right. So as I mentioned in my opening statement, I came here as a kid at 12 years old from Atlanta, major culture shock, and vowed to move away as soon as I possibly could. But this community instantly went to work on me. From amazing soccer coaches to some of the best teachers that I have ever met, to principals, educators, it just started working on me, you know. And I did go away and go to college and had some jobs, and then at 25 I found myself back here to unexpected circumstances, and instantly realized this is where I'm supposed to be. You know, this is where I want to be. I love this community. I love the feel. I love the friendliness, and I want to spend my life here. You know, my husband and I then bought a home. We opened a business. So, I mean, I am invested in this community, both financially and personally. I absolutely love it. I think I bring perspective of young people, and I also bring the perspective of a business person that maybe this council could benefit from. So with that in mind, you know, if elected to the council, I will continue to stay focused on all the things I've talked about tonight: attract the young population, develop the economy, and take care of you. So vote for me on November 5th. Thank you.
Thank you. So I think you guys did a great job. I would vote for all of you, but I can't vote for any of you. So I really, really admire folks who take the time to serve our cities. And you guys, thank you for running for office. Thank you for the ones who have served, and good luck to everyone. And I think they deserve a large applause from the audience.
One more round of applause for our moderator and timekeeper who gave also to our candidates, it takes a lot to sit on that stage and to answer the questions, and the Chamber is very thankful for all of you, for your interest, and for your continued ability to promote Reidsville in a positive manner, so I thank all of you for that. Without further ado, I think everybody probably ready to go home and to be with their families and to grab some dinner. So thank you all for coming. Please feel free to speak with any of the candidates and to just grab some more food and some water before you leave. So thank you all for coming.